Ramya. Belongs to Department of Computer Application. I'll be handling programming in ASP.NET. Today we'll see about web forms and web controls. So before we see into the web forms and web controls, we'll short introduction about the introduction to ASP.NET. ASP stands for Active Server Pages. ASP is a development framework for building web pages. ASP and ASP.NET are server-side technologies. So they act as a server-side, both ASP and ASP.NET. Both technologies enable computer code to be executed by an internet server. When a browser requests an ASP or ASP.NET file, the ASP engine reads the file, executes any code in the file, and they will return the result to the browser. So here the ASP and ASP.NET act as a server-side technology, and when we request any file, the browser what they will do, they will read the file and they will execute the file and they will return the result to the browser from the server side. So now we'll see about the web forms. So web forms are web pages built on the ASP.NET technologies. It executes on the server and generates output to the browser. So here mainly we are building the ASP web forms on the ASP.NET technologies, and this can be executed on the server and we can get the results on the browser, and it is compatible with any browser. That particular should be supported by the .NET program, .NET Common Language runtime. So it is flexible and allows us to create and add custom controls. We can use Visual Studio to create ASP.NET web forms. It is an IDE. So IDE represents Integration Development Environment that allow us to drag and drop server controls to the web forms. So here the controls can be dragged and dropped. We don't want to create any controls, just we can drag and drop the controls in the form. Either if you want to drag and drop the text box, labels or any type of controls can be dragged and dropped into the web forms. It also allows us to set properties, events and methods for the controls. To write business logic, we can choose any .NET language like Visual Basic or Visual C#. So next is the components of ASP.NET. So first is a browser, and the next one Internet Information Server. So here the browser acts as a client and the Internet Information Server acts as a server. And in the ASP.NET, so the entire ASP.NET, it consists of the web forms and the web controls. So here in the .NET framework technology, either we can use any type of languages that supports the .NET framework. Either it can be a VB or C# or C++. So any type of such language that supports the .NET programming language can be performed in the .NET framework. Okay. The next one is the web controls. So the web controls are basically HTML elements wrapped under easy to use scripting tags of ASP+ and provide rich functionality in your forms or pages. Web controls range from simple text box to advanced grids and list. Okay, so it can be the text box or ranges from, even if you want, you can use the simple text box, or it can be advanced controls are available in the .NET framework, such as grids and lists are available. Some of the controls like data grid can be bound to data sources, much like Visual Basic data bound controls. So these are the list of common web controls: label, panel, button, text box, checkbox, radio button list, list box, drop down list, table, table row, table cell, data grid, data list, repeater, calendar. So these are all the some of the common web controls that are available in the .NET framework. So first we'll see about the label. Label web control is generally used to display labels for other form elements. So here mainly if you want to get that is if the user input can be specified here with the help of the label. So here either I told either we can drag and drop the control, or if you want we can write the coding also to create the label. So here I have specified ASP colon label ID equal to label 1, text equal to my label text. So it is used to set the caption of the label. So here mainly to enter the user input data we can use the label. Next one, button. So button web control, it is used to represent an action like OK, submit, cancel, etc. So like this we can use the button control. Here the properties that are available in the button are command, command argument, event, on click. So these are all the properties available in the button control. Command. So command is used to identify the action to be performed when this button is clicked, and can be any user defined string analogs to tag property in VB. So command is used to identify the action to be performed when this action is clicked. It can be an any user defined string. And the next one is the command argument. It is used to provide additional information about the action. So we can give the additional information regarding that particular action, whether it is we are going to submit or cancel the button, or we are going to give OK. And then event. So event describes there is the particular, next we'll see about the event and then particular description. So event mainly will be using in button on click. So on click fired when user clicks the button, the form is posted to the server used to perform action depending. So mainly in button we will be using on click event fired when user clicks the button. So when that is on click event means when you click the particular button, some action will be taken place. So fired when user clicks the button. The form is posted to the server. It is used to perform action depending upon the button clicked. So mainly when you click the button, some action will be taken place. Text box. So text box web control is used to accept user input in your web forms. So if that is if the user gives the input data, if you are entering your name, if you are entering some data, so what they have asked that can be specified in the text box. So here mainly either it can be a suppose if you want to enter your name, you will be specifying only in a single line. Suppose the same case if you want to enter your address, in that case you need a multi-line. So here either you can say, otherwise if you want to enter the password, so password the characters may be hidden. So in that case you can specify the password also can be set. So here the text mode either you can set as a single, or you can set as a multi-line, or you can set as a password. So any three of these can be set here for the text mode. So these are some of the properties that has been specified in the text box. So first one is a auto post back. So here in this auto post back, if it specifies true, if client side changes in the control automatically cause a post back to the server. Otherwise it specifies the false. So columns, the width of the control in characters that can be specified in the columns, and maximum length, the maximum number of characters allowed within a text box. Okay, the maximum number of characters allowed within a characters can be specified with the maximum length. That is similar like a multi-line. So how many characters can be allowed within that particular text box. And the next one is the rows. So number of rows within the text box. Okay, how many rows can be? So in a multi-line, suppose if we take the multi-line, how many rows can be you wanted? Suppose if you can finish the address within the 5 lines, you can specify the number of rows that you need within the particular text box. And the next one is the text. So the text that the user has entered into the box. Okay, so what the data that has been entered by the user in the text box and then text mode. So here the possible values already I explained this text mode. So it can be either a single, multi-line and password. Text mode can be specified. And the next one is the checkbox. So checkbox is used to indicate an on or off state. Either you can indicate the on or off state. So here mainly in checkbox we can choose multiple options can be chosen in the checkbox. Okay. So here suppose they have listed out in a multiple choice question. They are given a two or more three answers can be may be correct for the particular question. In that case, you can specify as a checkbox because the user has to enter a multiple checkbox has to be checked out. So in that case, we can use the checkbox. So checkbox is used to indicate on or off state. So here the properties are auto postback, checked, text align, on check, changed. So true if client side changes in the checkbox automatically causes a postback to the server. Otherwise it returns the value as false. Checked. So true if the checkbox is checked false, it will be returned the value as false. And the text aligned. So the text box, all the text box should be aligned to the right side, all the text box should be aligned to the left side. That can be specified in the text aligned. And the next one is the on checked changed. So raised when the user clicks the checkbox. So here when the user clicks the checkbox, this event will be raised. So this event does not cause the web form page to be posted to the server unless the auto postback property is set to true. And the next one is the radio button. So a radio button or option button is a graphical control element. It allows the user to choose only one option for a predefined set of elements. Suppose if you take a checkbox, you already I told that is we can select multiple options can be chosen by using the checkbox control. But if you take the radio button, only one option can be chosen. Okay, so what degree you are learning at present? What Okay, in that case, you will be specifying either a BCA or BSc or MCA, like that you will be choosing only one degree. So in that case, you can use the radio button. And the most important example, mostly where will be using this radio button, gender. So it is a female or female. In that case, you can choose the radio button. And then property. So property here, the first one is the auto postback. So true if client changes in the control automatically cause a postback to the server. Otherwise returns the value as false. And then checked. So true if the radio button is checked. Otherwise it returns the value as false. And the next one is the group name. So here we can specify the group name to the radio button. So radio button with the same group name or mutually exclusive. And then text align. So the same way here we can align the text to the right side or to the left side. And the next one is the on checked change. So on checked change, it raised when the user clicks the radio button. This event does not cause the web form page to be posted to the server unless the auto postback property is set. So next one is a list box. List box presents a list of items from which user can select one or many items. So if you want to select one or many items, in that case you can use the list box. So here they have given the coding list box ID equal to list box 1, run at equal to server, on selected index changed equal to, they have set the mode as on selected index changed method. So ASP colon list item value equal to value, and we can select either we can set the value as the boolean values either as a true or false can be set here. And the properties that can be specified in the list box are data text field, data value field, items, selected index, selected item. So data text field, the field or property of the object in data source that will be the source of data for the text property of individual list items. And then data value field. So here in the data value field, we can specify the source of data for the value property of individual list items. And the next one is the items. So here in the items, a collection of items, objects representing individual items within the drop-down list can be specified here. The next one is the selected index, the ordinal text of the currently selected item in the drop-down list that specifies the selected index. And the next one is the selected item, a reference to the value property of the currently selected item that specifies the selected item. And the next one is the calendar. It is used to display selectable date in a calendar. Suppose if you want to set a date to the calendar, in that case you can use the calendar. So it also shows data associated with specific date. Okay, if you want the data associated with specific date, in that case we can specify a calendar. So it looks like a monthly calendar. So you can set the date by using the calendar control. This control displays a calendar through which users can move to any data in any year. So here when you see the coding of the calendar, so calendar ID equal to calendar. So most probably in all the control creation of the coding, we'll be using two attributes. One is the ID and another one is the run it. So this two attributes should be specified in all the control creation coding. So ID will be specifying the ID of that particular control, and the run it will be always specifying the value with the server only. Okay, always will be specifying the value with server. And we can set the selected date equal to what date you have been selected, that can be specified here. And then we'll see about the properties. So when you specify the properties here, you can set the access key, tab index, back color, border width, font color, text. This all can be set for the property. So access key means it is used to set keyboard shortcut for the control. If you want to set keyboard shortcut for the control, in that case you can access the access key. And then tab index, the tab order of the control can be performed here. And then back color, we can set the background color for the control, we can set the border color for the control, we can set the border width, we can set the width of the border of the control, and we can also set the font for the control text. The next one is a forecolor. So if you want to set the color for the text, in that case you can set the color for the text, and text, it is used to text to be shown for the particular control. If you want to specify any text for that particular control, that can be shown by using the property text. The next one is a hyperlink. So in hyperlink, it is a control that is used to create a hyperlink. So what is hyperlink? Suppose when you click that particular link, it will be navigating to that particular web page. Okay, a particular link will be given. So if you click that particular link, it will be navigating to the, it will be taking us to that particular web page. The particular web page will be redirected. That is called as a, that is the use of this hyperlink control. So it is a control that is used to create a hyperlink. It responds to a click event. We can use it to refer any web page on the server. So here mainly we'll be using ASP colon hyperlink ID equal to hyperlink 1 and runner equal to server, text equal to, so we can specify the text. Suppose instead of specifying that particular URL, even you can also specify the text also. So when you click that particular text, it will be redirected to us to the particular web page, because the next attribute we are going to specify navigate URL equal to www.javatpoint.com. So automatically when you click that particular text, it will by using the help of the URL, it will be redirecting to that particular web page. So property. So here when you see the property text, so it is used to set text that should be shown for the control. So here that's what I told, Java T point. When you click that particular text, it will be navigating to the particular web page. And the next one is the tooltip. So in tooltip, it displays the text when the mouse is over the control. Visible. To set visibility of control on the form. Height. It is used to set height of the control and width. We can also use to set width of the control can also be set, and then navigate URL. It is used to set the navigate URL. So when you are specifying the text, instead of specifying the URL and clicking that particular URL, you can give the text. So you can click the text. It will be navigating to the URL because the URL can be specified in the property. And the target frame for the navigation. So that's all, that's about the controls. So next we'll see about working with events. So an event is an action or occurrence such as a mouse click, a key press, mouse movements, or any system generated notification. So already we have seen so many event properties for some of the controls. So if you take the button, so the on click event plays a major role in the button control. So when you click that particular button, some action will be taken place. So that particular can be specified. The button can be clicked either by the mouse click or by the key press or by the mouse movement, or any system generated notification can be performed. So here the process communicates through the events. What will happen when you click the submit button? Some action will be taken place. All the data what you have entered will be submitted. So here we are performing the communication through the events. That's only performed with the events. For example, interrupts or system generated events. When events occur, the application should be able to respond to it and manage it. Okay. So when you perform something, when the events are occurred, the application should be able to respond. Suppose when you are given the correct username and the password, and when you are clicking the login button, that particular response should be taken place correctly. Then only the user will be able to log into that particular web page. Okay, so we have to respond to the action what has been taken place, and we have to manage to the actions that has been taken place. So these are the some of the application and session events. So application start. So it is raised when the application or website is started. Okay, so when you initialize the application or when you initialize the website, the application start event will be performed. And then application end. It is raised when the application or website is stopped. When you stop the application or when you stop the website, in that case, this application end will be performed. And the next one, the same thing can be specified for the session events. So session events, session start and session end. So session start means it is raised when a user requests a page from the application. When the user requests a page from the application, in that case we can use the session start. And then session end. It is raised when the session ends. The same way, similar to the application start and the application end, we can use it for the session start and the session end. And next one is the page and control events. So here when you want to perform with a particular page or when you want to perform with the controls, in that case there are some common page and control events are listed out here. So the first one is the data binding. So data binding, mainly it will be raised when a control binds to a data source. Mainly when you are using it with the database, in that case we'll be using the data binding. Okay, when a control binds with the data source. Data source means automatically when the front end is connected with the back end, will be binding with the data source. We want to retrieve the data from the data source. In that case, the data binding will be specified. And then disposed. When the particular page or control is released, the disposed event should be raised. When a particular page or control has been closed, then we have to raise the event dispose. And the next one is the error. It is a page event occurs when an unhandled exception is thrown. Okay. So when an unhandled exception is thrown, we'll be raising an error. So exception is automatically the error will be raised. So here when an unhandled exception is thrown, automatically the error should be specified. The error event will be raised. And the next one is the init. It is raised when the page or the control is initialized. Okay, so init means when the page or the control is initialized. In that case, we'll be raising the init event. And the next one is the load event. It is raised when the page or a control is loaded. When you load a page or when you load a control, in that case we can use the load event. And the next one is the pre-render event. So it is raised when the page or the control is to be rendered. When you raise, that is when the page or the control is rendered, in that case the pre-render event is raised. And then unload. It is raised when you unload the page or the control from the memory. Okay. When you remove the page or control from the memory, in that case the unload event will be raised. So here the common page and control events are data binding, disposed, error, init, load, pre-render, unload. So these are all the some of the page and control events. So already we have seen about the what are the events as that and what are the web controls are available here. So here they are specified, some of the common page and control events are specified here. And next one is the event handling using controls. If you want, you can specify the event handling using the controls also. So when you create the controls itself, you can specify the event handling can be specified here. For example, what are the event handling functions are available? On click, on select, index changed. So according to the specified controls, we can set the event can be set. Suppose if you take the button, the event will be the on click. If you take the list box, the event will be the on selected, index changed. So like this, we can set the events can be set. So here the ASP tag for the button control, they are given example for the button control. So ASP colon button ID equal to button cancel, run at equal to server and text equal to cancel. So this cancel can be specified in the button as a text as cancel. So when you click the button, so the cancel will be displayed upon the button. So it implies that we are going to cancel some information. We are going to cancel that particular data what we have entered. That implies the text equal to cancel. So here, because we are going to see event handling using controls. So here, see here, I am using the function button cancel underscore click. Okay, I use the method here as button cancel underscore click. So by val center as object, by val es system dot event arguments, and it handles button cancel dot click. Okay, so like this, if you specify, so instead of specifying within the particular control, instead of specifying within this particular control, we can use it here separately in the event handler. Okay, so if you want, you can specify within this control also. We can specify on click equal to some action should be taken place. Instead of that, we can also specify here like with a separate method protected sub button cancel underscore click. So by val setter as object, by val es system dot event arguments. So here we can handle the button click event can be handled. Thank you.